This is cool. This is cool. Cousin Whoopi. Cousin Whoopi.
Now I want to go find my roots.
That's my blood right there.
That's right.
And this is probably the only cousin that could pop up that's not going to want to be in the will.
I'll be in the will.
We also...
Oh, you want to?
I'll be in the will. That's okay. Yeah, I'll take that. Can I borrow $5? This will be family.
Hey, listen, for you, anything. But, you know, we also have another cousin, but I'll tell you about that in a second. But according to what Henry Louis Gates was able to find out, we are distant cousins, share DNA on your mom's father's side. And were you surprised? Were you surprised when they said, oh, you know who's in your family? Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh my God, it was incredible. Just because he does it at the end too. He's like, every time on the show we have somebody that is related to other people. Would you like to see who it is? Turn the page, and I turned the page. I saw it was you. I was like, what the hell, Whoopi Goldberg? I love Whoopi. That's so cool. Yeah, it was great.
When I did it, the person I was related to, think of my shock, was Amy Schumer.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So like when Chuck Schumer comes here, I'm like, primo.
I didn't know that.
But you still are talking.
Oh, I have a question. And you also found out, so who art thou, Tony Gonzalez? You found out you have another relative.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, too, at the end of it, he said, turn the page, you're related to somebody who's one of the most famous people ever in the world. And I'm like, what the hell can this be? So I turned the page, and it wasn't a photo. It was like a painting.
Rendering, yeah.
And I'm like, who is this guy? I don't recognize him. And he goes, that's William Shakespeare. And I'm like, what?
That's amazing.
And he goes, not only are you, you're not a distant cousin, you're a direct relative of this guy, which I thought was pretty crazy. And the whole thing is crazy. Getting back to you and I, George Betts. You don't know that name. No. That is how we are related. So it's on my grandfather's side, and George was a slave, and he was not just your average slave. Like, this guy was tough. And so he tells you the whole story, and George ran away because they were going to sell him, and he was married, and he had kids, and he was like, I'm not me. And so they sold him, and they put out an ad for him saying, where's my boy? That's what they called him back then. Where's my boy? If you've seen him, return him to me. He gets caught, like a week later, and because they put another ad out there saying that we found him. So he went back, but then slavery got abolished. And so after slavery, him and Polly, his wife, got married, legally married, because you weren't allowed to be legally married back then. Yeah. So they get married, they continue their family. He goes on to have, they buy property, which only 5% of slaves had property back then. Related. Well, and it's related. This is how we're related, and I don't know, it's just amazing. And then he was elected a major for a militia to help protect black people, because obviously a lot of white people weren't happy that slavery was going about and was ended. And so it was just a strong man. Yeah. This is who you're related to, who I'm related to.
That makes sense.
A strong, stubborn person. So I thought it was great.
I'm so glad you told that story, because there's actually people in this country who want to whitewash black history, who want to whitewash slavery, and who want to say that this country, there's never been racism in this country.
Oh, well, that's obviously not.
Well, Skip will find anything.
When we look at Whoopi, about the DNA test that they did, Whoopi has a distant cause in which Tony, who is the NFL player, and Tony came to the views also, and they were very happy bonding together. So Tony was very excited, and Whoopi was excited. They make the joke that Tony is going to be the one that would take the wheel for Whoopi. Whoopi said there's no problem about that. Was powerful about seeing your origin. And Tony also talked about that he discovered that he has another cousin, which is William Shakespeare, which was very amazing to him. And then he tried to explain about the George. George was the person that is related to Whoopi, that both of them are related. George was a strong man. He was a slave that was being called, but he ran away. Later on, they called him. He came back. Later on, he got married to the wife, and they had children. George was very strong. George was a strong man, so he tried to give a little bit of background about slavery, about how him and Whoopi, that he was a strong person. So slavery, you see how strong Whoopi is, and he too is a very strong man, and they became very successful. So they were just happy knowing all this, and he was excited. One of the ladies said that he discovered one of his own ancestor through the bloodline. They were very excited, and most of them really want to do their ancestry test also, which is a very good one. All in all, looking at it is that if you know your originality, if you know where you come from, if you know your background, if you know your root as a black person, so they were very happy as a human being. Even just to know where you come from is strength. As I talk about in my last video about the Holy Ghost, it's very powerful where you come from, where it give you that inner capacity, that it give you that you want to become better. It give you that energy to go on in life. It give you that superiority conflict. Your ancestors is something I don't know how I can narrate it to scream, but the younger generation don't see it necessary. This generation don't know that it's very necessary. Know your originality, about the root. He that started the root and go specify and discover people ancestry. That was one of the most powerful things that have been done for the people, especially the slave, to know where they come from, to collect, to go back, just to know. If you have money, you even visit it, you go back just to know your origin. It's powerful. Bringing out about teaching about slavery, as last time they said, it's not bringing out nobody, it's not shaming nobody, it's not putting nobody to be in the limelight like they want to put some people that they were wicked. No, it's a history that has passed. If history is not being taught, history will repeat itself. So we have to let our generation know that your forefathers, this is what you passed through, this is what went wrong. If they know the mistake the forefathers made, they will make the same mistake, which keep them in that calamity, which made them to fight that war, which made them to degrade human beings as animals, which makes certain things to happen. And to see how brilliant they are, I don't even know how to say that, but all in all, they recognize themselves, and it's very brilliant. So if you're watching this and you want, it is nice if you don't really know your origin to be part of this and also do your ancestry. It's something very powerful. And if you know your ancestry, I'm telling you, you'll never be the same. Just to know your root, where you come from, how do the people there, how do they behave, what are their likes, what are their dislikes. Your father's side, your mother's side, you can be a Caucasian, you can be white, you can be a Caucasian, you can be a black person. Everyone has to do their roots. Know where you come from. It's powerful. Thank you very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please help and subscribe and help share the video. God very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please help and subscribe and help share the video. God very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please help and subscribe and help share the video. God very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please help and subscribe and help share the video. God very much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please help and subscribe and help share the video. God